Good morning, TikTok. Let's see what's going on here. All righty. Let's get back over here. There we go. Hello, everybody. Good Thursday morning. Let me see what I probably. Good morning, TikTok. Y'all come on in for a minute. It's a rainy day in Georgia. Such a rainy day in Georgia. Let me waffle my shirt. Seems like it's raining all over the world. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Tick-tocky-tocky. So I'm about to ride down to the feed store here shortly. Once they get open about 8:30 or so, I need to get some chicken feed. Y'all, I got more eggs and I know what to do with, so I'm counted safe during the egg crisis of 2025. Good morning, Danielle. They have started all the stores around Atlanta. They've started limiting eggs to like 1 or 2 dozen a person, where people just, people are so weird, when people go in there and hoard up stuff, and you would think that we would be more kind and gentle people, that we wouldn't go up there and just try to buy up 40 dozen of eggs just in case, like hoarding. I remember back when there was a toilet paper shortage or something, they had to restrict people. People would just go in there and just take and filling the buggies up, just buying up all the toilet paper. It's kind of, I don't know. That just seems kind of heartless and seedy to me. Just get all you can get and hell with everybody else. So, but hopefully, I'm not going to have no problems with eggs. I got fresh eggs. I keep a couple dozen in the refrigerator all the time. Yeah, they don't do the Danielle. It just seems a little bit. I'm glad I'm not that person. If there was a meat shortage, something. Oh, Ava, let's go buy up all the meat we can before it's all gone. I mean, my God, don't we think about other people? It's weird that stores have to ration eggs out, or people will run in there and try to buy up all the eggs. It's weird. You got these doomsday people that's too hoards up food and has a. There was a house next door to Kathy that came up for sale, and they was when the people moved out, they had a basement, and it was just kind of creepy. Well, I went over and looked around, and the people that owned the house. Thank you for sharing the live, y'all, over here, Kevin, on TikTok, and some of you other people. Good morning, Miss Candy Cane, or Mr. Candy Cane. That could be male or female. I don't see the picture on there yet. My eyes are not that good. So, but no disrespect to nobody. I'm not feeling. I'm just going to honor everybody. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for coming on in the room. Thank you for the hellos, the good mornings, the gifts. It's Thursday here. I've determined to have a good day today. I am doing well, TCNK. Hope you're doing well as well. I've just determined to have a good day today. I'm going to get out here in a little bit and run around and buy some chicken feed and get my day going, and run by Heather's house at some point. We're building her house back together. And I feel, I like to acknowledge this sometimes. I feel good in my physical body, because oftentimes we just don't feel well, and maybe we something going on, or we got a pull muscle, a hurt leg, or I feel good in my physical body this morning. I feel healthy. I breathe good. I walk good. I'm going to get me a good power walk in later today. I told typically Ava and I would do it in the early part of the day, but Savannah called me last night and she's like, Papa, when I get home from school tomorrow, can you come over and let's do a good walk? And I'm like, yeah. So we're going to hold off on the walk until Savannah gets out of school and then right over to Cabbagetown in a little bit this evening. And she likes to go walking with us too. Puka says, where's your wife? She had to run over to the shop. She's going to left one of her cameras there and she's got some auditions to tape and stuff. And so she left to drive across Atlanta to the blueprint shop over here to get her camera equipment. She's always moved. Ava's just got thousands of dollars worth of film studio, camera equipment, lights, all kind of stuff. And she hauls it around. So there's a studio in the back of the print shop too. There's a room back there that's set up with different wall features. And she used to do interviews there and auditions there with different people and stuff. But good morning, TikTok. How's everybody doing this morning? Top of the morning to you. I'm looking forward to just having a good day, feeling good in my physical body. Not be so. My morning post this morning that I always write was about the politics that's going on now, and but I don't want to have my mind just weighed down with all that stuff. We are living through history, as every person is. We're always living through history. Feeling blessed today. Yeah, I am too. Puka says, what religion did you grow up in? I grew up in Pentecostalism, holiness, Jesus only, apostolic. It was all kind of mixed together, independent, Pentecostal. Both of my grannies, Granny Bratcher, Granny Sellers, they were both tongue-talking, Holy Ghost-filled Pentecostal women. So I was raised up in all that with the belief. Good morning, Chris. Tamara, yeah, it is horrifying, isn't it? Says I'm horrified. It is horrified what's going on in the country. But to answer your question, grew up Pentecostal, and it was kind of weird. Like, I guess there was a part of me because it was to me, it was like a poor people's religion. It wasn't big and fancy like the big affluent Pentecostal churches around the country now. It was mainly little storefronts and prayer meetings in people's houses and all. And I had reservations, when I became older and started dating and stuff. Thank you for the gifts, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the gifts. And I never come on here and ask people to give or to tap hearts or anything. But if you do tap the hearts, it kind of throws the algorithm out there into the universe. It gets the lives. Puka says, me as well. I'm still Pentecostal. Yeah, I guess the way I look at it now, I'm still a little bit of everything. I haven't totally denounced anything. I mean, if I feel anointed, I'll still speak in tongues, and people's like, oh, you're a homosexual, you speaking in tongues? Well, it's none of your business what I do. I do me, you do you, if I ain't mistaken, there's a scripture in there that says, let every man, woman work out their own salvations, however, whatever floats your boat. If you Buddhist, Muslim, Hindu, whatever, you do you, I'll do me. But it is kind of, I think back over my life though, and I do think that there was a part of me when I was younger, maybe in my late teenage years, that I wouldn't tell people that, oh, I come from a Pentecostal family where they spoke in tongues and this and that and other, because people look down on that. Like that was kind of like weak-minded people or people, low-class people that was like that, and I know that when I got married to Kathy, I was 18 years old, and I took her to my Uncle Bud's church over on Constitution Road here in Atlanta, and they were having a Thursday night service or so, Sunday afternoon service or something. So I took Kathy. Kathy was raised up, her and her mama was always Baptist. And, one of them stoic kind of Baptists, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in, wasn't like Pentecostal. And so we got married. So I finally took her around my family, my Uncle Bud, who had a church, True Gospel Lighthouse, over on Constitution Road. Hey, Miss Kelly, or Mr. Kelly. I should take them, just do the names because I don't know if they're male or female. A lot of these names are interchangeable. But I took Kathy over to my Uncle Bud's church, and man, they had a packed church in that church. And miss. Well, good morning there, Kelly. I could have looked at your picture better, but I got my phone and my laptop going. So anyhow, I took Kathy to Bud's in her first service, and I mean the church was packed because they just had built this church. And I was so proud of my Uncle Bud that, he didn't have no money, never had no money, but somehow he bought 3 acres of land on Constitution Road, and they built the church from scratch up, and it was a nice church too. And it would seat 250, 300 people. But anyhow, they wanted to have a dedication service, no service, and they hadn't even put the sheetrock up in the sanctuary yet. They just set a bunch of tent revival, metal chairs all in there, and we were going to have service in that church for the first time. So I took Kathy to it because it's all my family there, all my family. And David and Paul, I think it was David and Paul at that time, they sung the music. My 2 cousins who sung so beautiful together, made albums and went to Nashville, was on the Ernest Tubb record radio shows, and they was all, they were doing good musically. And hey, good morning, Miss Candy Kane. And so anyway, in this dedication from Brazil, anyway, on this dedication service, if y'all can imagine, Pentecostal people, poor people, had got together and worked hard and built this church. There was no mortgage on it. There was no money borrowed to do it. People didn't have credit, could borrow money. But it was all donations and hard work and people getting over and clearing the land and building the church. It still sits over there nowadays. It was a cute little church. And So, I mean, the turnout was crazy. It was people packed in there. It was a summertime and a Sunday afternoon, heat, fans blowing. There wasn't no HVAC system in yet. And had 5 or 6 windows down both sides of the sanctuary. All the windows was up. The breeze was blowing through the sanctuary. And then maybe 200, 250 people packed in there. And it was all my family too, my aunts, my cousins, and all like it. And boy, I don't know what they sung, but somebody, walked up and started, "Oh, just fill my cup, Lord. I lift it up, Lord." And people started shouting and raising their hands and dancing and praising God. And you could hear people all through the congregation, and people praising God. That's old school Pentecostal. Well, it was just my first experience to get Kathy around that, and I could tell, instead of being afraid of it, like a lot of people are afraid of Pentecostalism, you could tell it was just really that whatever we were feeling, she was feeling also, and she could feel all that what it is. And so anyhow, but that was a long answer to what was I raised in, just old school Pentecostalism, preaching, laying on the hands. It was, y'all, I know the church has always had a lot of weird, homophobic, racist, bad stuff in it. But it wasn't like today, as bad as it was today. The MAGA evangelical Trump supporters, they are people I wouldn't even care to have dinner with, much less go worship in the house of God with. They're just unseemly that they could make this man an idol, that they would worship him much more intensely and deeply more than they worship Christ. you know. I was born in the Apostolic, but now in UPC in Louisiana, man, UPC. Yeah, Puka, if I'm saying it right, I've let most of all that go, and I mean, I still hold on to some parts of my spirituality of praying and stuff, but um, I've let most of the comments are coming so fast, Sean. Eddie, please pray for me. I'm losing my faith. I'm far away from God. Hopeless. Oh, Kelly, yeah. We hear that from people. Eddie, please pray for me. I'm losing my faith. I'm far away from God. Hopeless. Thank you for the gift, Kelly. Let me just address that, Kelly, and just maybe give you a different way to look at that you described, because I've got calls like that over the years from people who said that. I did the last funeral I did. Somebody called me a few days later, hadn't been in church in years, and she told me, she said, Eddie, said, I want to get back closer to God. And we understand that concept. An old school concept, it was, I want to get back in church. I want to be a part of a faith community. I want to find a preacher that when he preaches, I can feel it in here, that it resonates with me. And I'm telling y'all, even if you were in the good old days, trying to find a good church that you enjoyed, it's hard. It's hard to find a good church that connects with you. But Kelly, let me address you this. This girl called me. She said, Eddie, I want to get closer to God. And this is what I told her. And this is what I'll tell you. The very breath that we breathe is God. You cannot get any closer to God than being alive and breathing and your heart beating and your blood flowing and your brain working. You're connected already so deeply. You're just an extension of God. And so I would just advise people that feel like there's distance between them and God. Just become more real to yourself, and that's being very real by saying that. But God is the very breath that we breathe, and I was even raised in Pentecostal UPC and apostolic, all that stuff, that even if you left the church, then you basically left God, because, the way of a transgressor is hard, and you backslider and all like that. My whole thing about God now is on a whole different level. To be honest about it, Kelly, we can't get away from God. Even Paul warned us. He said, where could I go from the presence of God? Could I go into the heavens? Could I go in the middle of the earth? What can separate us from God? And his conclusion was, there's nothing that can separate us from God. God is the very breath that we take in and we let back out. It's all God. But anyway, y'all, good morning, y'all. We all get off on the thing. It's very hard if you believe in your heart, trust your heart. It will always lead you what's right in your heart. Yeah, I get that. Thank y'all for the hearts. Good morning, everybody. I'm not going to stay on here too long. Just come on here to say hello and maybe tell somebody out there that's discouraged or going through some real tough stuff. It's just a day. This day is going to be behind us before you know it. I just tell people it's just the day. So we get through it. You get through it. And the other evening, my granddaughter Savannah, her cat died, and I went over and walked with her. And we got out and walked around, and she cried her eyes out, and I used it as an opportunity to just talk to her as a 12. Well, she's 13. Let me take that back. She's 13 now. And I told her, I said, Savannah, that's going to be a part of life. Part of life is kind of going through hurtful stuff. And I told her, I said, not only do your pets die, I said, one day your papa and nanny's going to die. And I know you're 13 years old and all that seems really way out there. I said, but I'm going to tell you, when those times come, you just kind of get through it. you just kind of go on and get through it. Some of us have been through divorce. Good morning, Bridget. Uh, some of us have been through divorce. Some of us have been through bad relationships. Some of us have dealt with heart surgeries and cancers and the death of loved ones, but we just get through it. They ain't no sugar pill you take. You just kind of suck it up and you get through it. And you just realize it's just a season. It's just a day. You just get through it. But anyway, everybody, good morning this morning. Top of the day to all of you. I'm about ready for the rain to move on out of here. Cold weather's back in Atlanta. I think tonight it's going down to 29 for y'all people out there that think we're silly out there in North Dakota and Nebraska and Alaska and other parts around the world. Hello, B. Rob. Good morning to you. For some of you people out there think 29, that's like summertime to us. Well, 29 is cold here in the South. But I kind of enjoy cold weather because I just like having a little fire going and just enjoying the coldness or whatever. And so anyway, y'all, yeah, it's going to be cold, especially Sunday morning. Yeah, cold weather's coming back. I drop Ava off at the airport tomorrow, and she's got to fly up to North Carolina. She'll fly back Monday. She's got a little job up there. She flies up there and handles for a couple of days, and then she'll be back. So this weekend's going to be me and Boom Boom and Gracie, and we'll just kind of snuggle on the sofa. Y'all might be seeing me doing a lot of long lives, just being cold and sitting here at the house with nothing to do. Just come on here and just us talk a bit. Good morning, Miss Rhonda. Good morning, Gail. 40 and rain here right now. Then we have a winter weather advisory. Good Lord. Isn't 40 when it's raining and it's 40 degrees? Isn't that just such a hard, damp cold? It just feels so cold. I know it's not 15 or 20 degrees, it's 40 degrees, but the wetness just makes it feel so damp and cold. But anyway, y'all, yeah, just life, we get through it. UPC, Pentecostal, Apostolic, all these people. It feels colder yesterday to me than today. Yeah. Renee said it's 35 and damp in Austin, Texas. I spent a couple of nights in Austin 11 years ago. And I went, if some of you people's never been to Austin, man, it's really a beautiful city. And Ava and I went to, right in Austin's the state capital of Texas. And that state capitol building, we went up and walked around inside it, did a little tour or whatever. And I've been into every building in D.C. Good morning, Dynamic Vision. I've been to all the places in Washington, D.C., all the historic places, whatever. That state house that Texas built, whenever they built that, my God, that's a beautiful structure. It's just beautiful, a beautiful structure there. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy people elected there, but it's a beautiful building, to say the least. But anyway, y'all, good morning. Coming to y'all from Atlanta, Georgia this morning, over here on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm playing with this little streamline thing. I might keep it. Who knows? It is beautiful. Yeah, it would be something. The thing, Renee, when I was there was an older man that was at the door working there, and I stopped and talked. He had on the Texas, whatever the Ranger, whatever they call the Texas Law. He had that uniform on, that kind of tan looking shirt and all that. And he's part of law enforcement. And I don't know. I started talking to him and I told him, I said, well, I just always admired Ann Richards. And he said, oh, I knew Governor Richards. I was here when she was here. Said she'd ride a motorcycle up here. You know, there's right down in Austin's a bunch of little gay bars and music venues. Austin's very progressive. You know, it's weird like Atlanta. Atlanta's a very progressive city, but once you get outside of Atlanta, you got the CWPs, which is what my friend Jai always referred to as the crazy white people, live all outside of the city. LJ, Hawassi, crazy. Although Hawassi has an openly lesbian mayor up in North Georgia, on the very edge of Tennessee and North Carolina, which is kind of cool, isn't it? And yeah, a lesbian mayor in Hawassi. Yeah, it is cold, Gail. Traveling soon via plane, not looking forward to it. Yeah, plane flying's kind of scary right now, isn't it? My daughter Jill and grandson Caleb and Chance and my granddaughter Savannah, they fly up to New York next week because school's on school break. They're going to Manhattan again, stay 5 nights up there. But now Jill's all, hey, good morning, Bones. Oh, I love me some Ann Richards. Wasn't she? She was a trip, wasn't she? You know, the Democrats, if we veer over to politics for a minute, the Democrats need a new way forward. They need some new voices. I mean, we need a Governor Ann Richards to come back on the scene that's just can talk to common people, you know, and can be, you know, I had lunch yesterday with Rusty Couch and the pastor of Jefferson Avenue Baptist Church up here. We bumped into each other at the barbecue kitchen. He bought my lunch. Good morning, Miss Teresa. Finally got a good cover of snow today, so decided to work from home and not be late. Seems Michigan, Dan, I can't say it. She's Michigan, whatever they call them, Michiganites. Forget how to drive here. Yeah, they don't know how to drive in Atlanta either with when it's that. But the Democrats need a Governor Ann Richards type Moses to come onto the scene. Nobody is speaking to the hearts of the Democratic people as a whole. And I don't think there's nobody on the scene that is doing that now that we can rally around and mobilize around. And we can say, well, you know, we can galvanize around. It seems like it seems like we got to have somebody to come forward. And I was saying, I had a lunch yesterday with Pastor Rusty Couch, who's a pastor right up the street at the Jefferson Avenue Baptist Church. And I've known Rusty for years now. I love Rusty. He's sweet. I tell y'all something funny. We sat there and he's a Trumper. You know, it's Southern Baptist. You go figure. So he's sitting there and he's telling me, he said, Edie, I'm not one of those crazy MAGA people. I said, and you know how I'm kind of a smart ass sometimes. I started laughing. I said, no, Rusty, you worse. He said, what? I said, you a Baptist. Some people are Jasmine Crockett speaks to. When I say we need a new voice on the scene, I say that in terms of we need a voice that can win the presidency, a voice that's capable. I don't think Jasmine evidently is a prominent lady that has a long career ahead of her if she decides to stay in politics. We need a voice to galvanize a nation, though, a voice that can go take that all the way to the Oval Office. I don't think that person's out there right now. I don't think the country will vote for I love Mayor Pete. I don't think the country will vote for an openly homosexual. I love female candidates, but I've come to the conclusion maybe the country's just not going to elect a female president no time in our lifetime. You know, there's still so much xenophobia and all that stuff in the country. And so what I was saying about Rusty, I was telling Rusty yesterday, the Democrats need a voice that can galvanize a people, can galvanize a nation. And, you know, somebody will come on the scene. And not only that, y'all, I mean, I love AOC and the progressives and the very awakened part of the party. But if I'm being honest, we need somebody that can just speak to Southern people. The Southern people across the South has not had no use for the Democrats. Although Georgia has 2 Democratic senators, Ossoff was kind of a fluke, if I'm being honest about it. It was mainly the people wouldn't turn out for Donald Trump, with the election interference and all that. And Governor Kemp was a part of the reason also. Now, Warnock's going to be hard to beat because he knows how to galvanize people and get the turnout. Senator Ossoff's a little boring. Yeah, I don't see him probably getting reelected. We're probably going to lose that seat. And I know I probably shouldn't say that, but that's just the political pundit part of me. But I was telling Rusty yesterday, that'll be the new head of the DNC. The country has endured this pain to open their eyes. Yeah. Look up Ken Martin, Julie says. I was telling Rusty yesterday, if I can get my train of thought out, that who's running for president on the Democrat side this time? We need somebody that can just talk to Southern people, that Southern people understand, that they know how to communicate with working people in Pennsylvania, and I remember when Jimmy Carter said, "I'm Jimmy Carter and I'm running for president." Oh, they laughed and laughed and laughed, made fun of him. The Tonight Show, the pundits, what pundits there were on TV back then. The headline on the AJC was Jimmy who? Jimmy who was running for president? Well, he took a couple of busloads of Georgians out to Iowa at the Iowa caucus, and they just got out there in the snow and knocked on doors and they talked to people. Well, he went on, caught fire, and became president. Jimmy Carter, a peanut farmer. Yeah, he was a one-term governor, but he was basically a nobody, him and Roseland. And the Democrats need a Jimmy Carter type Moses. Because I'm telling you, the people that's in the party now, you can wheel them out one by one. They don't, in order for a person to become president, they have to really have some kind of charisma to really connect with people. And it can't, if you can connect with people at a grocery store, you can connect with people on the stage. There's something to it. I don't see nobody in the Democratic Party now that can do that. I do have faith, though, that Rhonda says, unfortunately, got to be a white man. Yeah, and y'all, let's just cut to the chase right here. Paul Beard said, you should run for president. Boy, they would tar and feather me. Hell, all I did was try to help a campaign get started. I had 100,000 people coming after me. But if we look at how divided and racist and bigotry and homophobia and xenophobia and everything that's going on right now, in order for the Democrats, and I'm just going to say this, in order for the Democrats to probably win, it's got to be a white man. And maybe a white man from the South. Maybe somebody from North Carolina, from Georgia. Maybe this governor in Kentucky, Bashir, he talks like us. He knows how to go down to Ace Hardware and talk to people and make them feel like, well, that's old Andy right there. He's all right, And morning, DC. Morning, Julie. So I think, for whatever you say about Donald Trump, he somehow speaks to a group of people so much so that they're just a cult now. That's all that is. That one, that's Donald Trump's to me, like one of those preachers that come into a church and everybody's like, yeah, I don't know about this preacher. I don't know about this preacher. And then a year later, everybody's drinking Kool-Aid. Oh my God, this is the most greatest man in the world. And you're like, oh, cuckoo. People went off the deep end, So I think for the good of the country and to try to harness back in some of our liberties and rights that's being taken away, when this starts up in a couple of years, the field that's running for the Democratic nomination, it's got to be somebody that speaks to Southern people also, where they're like, yeah, he's old, yeah, and it can't be I don't think people's like who's the governor? Gavin Newsom. That can't be Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's slick willie. He comes across to people in the South. I don't know. A lot of you other people might love Gavin Newsom, but he was married to that girl that almost married Donald Trump Jr., that lady. And what a dingbat that heifer is. It just, and I don't know. He comes across to me as a Southerner. He's just a little too slick for me. Just a little bit too smooth talking. And I've driven around North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, rural areas. The comments are coming in so fast, y'all. I can't understand how these poor people vote for Trump. Yeah, go figure, dynamic vision. But they do. They do by the hordes, too. Candy Cane says, no, Gavin is not it. But I do like him. I mean, I kind of like him, but he's a little too slick for me. I think the country is tired of slick politicians that have the answers for everything, that just got an answer for everything. Like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's like, I and I alone can do it. Well, that part of the country loves the fact that he's doing that. Good morning, Eddie. The stomach bug hit me last night. Mercy, Lizzie says. Nothing seems to shake the Trump idolatry. Y'all, let me say this right here. Before I go, y'all might not believe this, but people can turn, and people can turn on you. I lost everyone's comments. Good morning, Miss Kathy. Roy Cooper, yeah, Rhonda, I like Roy too. I think we need somebody that can speak to Southern people. I'm not saying they're going to carry Alabama and South Carolina, Mississippi. But my God, they need to be able to go campaign in these places where people's like, yeah, I'll give him a shot, And Lizzie says, seriously, I'm in a big red town. People are thrilled with what's happening, and I hate it. Yeah, even the latest I seen on Harry Eaton, I think the pollster of CNN, he said a few days ago that Trump's approval ratings are 4% in the positive side. The country thinks all this stuff is okay with them. We're horrified by it, most of us. Yeah, it is. To me, it's a brain twister for me. How that I can drive across Georgia and see these shabby little rundown trailer parks in Elberton, Georgia, that's got the little washed out Trump banners hanging on their little rundown trailer. And in my mind, I'm like, my God, what are these poor people thinking billionaires are going to do for them? Billionaires. Like, when has a rich people ever had kind hearts and helped poor people? Rarely. I know there's a lot of philanthropy and with Oprah and Bill Gates and all like that, but just in general, when has rich people ever went over to the poor side of town and gave a rat's ass about poor people over in the trailer parks? And these people have been so conned in by sitting in front of Fox News every day. They think Donald Trump's on their side. Donald Trump don't give a rat's ass about none of them poor people. He wouldn't walk across the street to shake hands with any of them people up there. And but anyhow, the Democrats we're going to wait and see what happens. We need a new way forward. We don't need no 75. We don't need 70-year-old men like Eddie Sellers trying oh, give me a shot. No, we're old. Old people need to at some point set their ass down. They just need to set their ass down and let some people, to me, a person that's had a good life experience around politics, and maybe 45, 50, that's a good person who's no longer a novice that understands life, And so, but we need new voices in the Democrat Party. So anyway, y'all, love y'all. Coming to y'all from Atlanta, Georgia this morning, about to go get my day started. Have a good day. I feel good today. I hope you feel good today. I hope you, in the midst, here's what I'll say. Uh, Lots of people, same people in cities and rural areas. Here's what my admonition for you this morning, my little moment of exhortation for you this morning. No matter how bad the country seems right now, I exhort every one of you to have a little hope. Just have a little hope. Don't give up all hope. Hold on to hope. You know, just have a little hope. And who knows? Who, Nobody knows where any of us will be a year from now. Nobody knows where the country will be 2 years from now. Yeah, it looks like it's on a road path to a shithole. But America has surprised us before. And so have a little hope this morning. And I love y'all. So let me get off of here and go hit on the road again. Let me get on the road again. Let me see here. In stream. See y'all. Good heavens, that's a lot of people.